Hi guys, and welcome to another video. Today I will try to explain force feedback settings for Thrustmaster wheels. So let's start with the overall strength of all forces. This is self-explanatory because this controls the force feedback of all forces you have. It's recommended to have it on 100%. And if you have some issues with the force feedback or with the wheel, just lower the force feedback in the game, not here. The reason for that is because you will lose some resolution and fine details. So keep the settings on 100% and then adjust in the game. Now we jump on the 4 forces you have here in the settings. The first force is constant force. This force is for a constant force in the game, like when you are going through the fast corner and you feel the G-forces on the wheel, like constant force. So this slider controls this kind of forces. Periodic is when you're going over the curbs or on a bumpy road, and it's a high frequency force, so it's that rumble and shaking of the wheel. The spring is pretty easy to explain. It's like having a spring on the wheel. Maybe you had some old Thrustmaster wheels or Logitech wheels where there's no force feedback and you only have a spring, so the wheel wants to always return to the center position. And if you're turning the wheel, the force is increasing like it's on the spring. This is recommended to have on 0. Damper is controlling the force you need to apply on the wheel to rotate it. So when you're trying to rotate the wheel, it can feel heavy if the settings are on 100%. So this is also recommended to have on 0. The simple explanation is that when you have the damper on 100%, the wheel is very heavy when you are stationary with the car. But when you are racing and going faster, this slider should not affect the driving. So you have to try it for yourself and decide, but I have always damper on 0. The next setting is the boost. The boost is a new feature for Thrustmaster wheels, and I made a video about that, so I will leave the link in the video description. Check it out. The last one is auto center settings, and this always should be on by the game as recommended. I have never changed this setting, so it stays default. Now let's have a look on Thrustmaster explanation of these 4 forces here. So they are in 2 groups. The first group is spring and damper. The spring and damper effects are what we call dynamic effects, because they rely on information which depends on the wheel. The dynamic effects are those effects which benefit the most from hardware force feedback implementation, like in the T500 RS, because you want a fast response based on how the player will turn his wheel. So I think this group is more affected by the hardware itself. This will be different with the T500, T300 and other wheels. But let me know in the comments what you think about this. The second group is the constant and periodic effects. Let's see what Thrustmasters say about this. The constant and periodic effects are what we call static effects. Once the game sets them, they act accordingly to the parameters set or modified through time by the game regardless of how the user turns the wheel. The game might adjust them accordingly, but they are not linked directly to the wheel position, speed or acceleration. So that's why I think we always have the constant and periodic forces on 100%. because this is more software related than the hardware related. But let me know in the comments if I'm wrong or if I understand it correctly. Okay, I hope you liked this video and I will see you in the next one.